Good morning and good afternoon in online world. We are here at the South Florida with Annette Figueredo. We will be talking today about fertility breath. And I want to take the opportunity to first and foremost thank everyone who participated in the South Florida Fertility Expo 2 weeks ago. It was our very first webinar, and it was an inaugural event, and it was a huge success. We had over 3,000 views within the first week, and we definitely see the need and the importance to continue the conversation around fertility. Just don't support the whole nine. It's a wide and open conversation, and we're really happy to be a part of it. And with that being said, let me introduce to you today our guest. Our guest, her name is Annette Figueredo, a fertility coach. The company is called Magic Mama Mantra. I'm going to share a little bit about her company, and most importantly, she's going to give us some information about breath work and how it can assist with your fertility. So, that being said, here is Annette. Hi, Annette. Good afternoon.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, you are very, very welcome. And I am happy that you could take the time to join us on a Sunday afternoon. First and foremost, again, I want to say thank you to you. You were one of those participants who were involved with the Fertility Expo as a webinar. And it was a different experience, but it was definitely worth it and it was very beneficial. I've already been given a lot of grants and been successful and how great it's been for some of the people who participated. Some people have got great business out of it. And so we just want to continue the conversation. And again, thank you as one of those participants who was with us back then.
Absolutely.
So today, great. So today we're going to talk about your business and talking about fertility breath work. I thought it was really interesting. Simply because we don't really have a lot of conversations around holistic practicing or holistic pathways to the world and the journey of fertility, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how you got into the space.
Sure. So I got into the fertility space through my own personal journey. I was 40 years old and did not have my family yet, and it was something I had really been wanting. And at the time, when I got serious about it, realizing time is running out at 40 years old, we went to see fertility specialists, and the fertility doctors gave myself and my partner less than 5% chance of conceiving. And there's a whole mess of emotions that go with that. But eventually, I went on to conceive and give birth to my first child at the age of 41. And so when I was going through that journey, I just remember the feelings of hopelessness. And it really feels like everybody else out there has a child except for you. It feels like time is running out, and every single month that goes by, I mean, just that the pressure of time, every single month that goes by feels like you're 1 month further away from ever becoming a mom. And, that feeling of hopelessness and like the universe does not have your back and, everything's against you. I just don't want anyone to ever have to feel that way. And luckily, I only felt that way for a teeny weeny part of time. If you really look at my whole journey, my fertility journey was small. And thankfully, that's because I had 15 years experience, or more 12 to 15, more like 12 actually, of holistic space as a massage therapist, a yoga instructor, a meditation coach, an Ayurvedic practitioner. I train spas on how to use Ayurvedic oils and therapeutic blends to calm down the nervous system and to have an overall healing effect on the body. So I was already in the holistic space. And when it came time to apply this to myself, I already knew what to do. I had already been practicing and studying a lot of motherhood and postpartum fertility, the Kabbalah of birth. I had been studying a lot of spiritual principles already as it related to motherhood. But when it came time to put that in practice for myself, I got on it. I created a plan. And in like 2 months of implementing everything, I conceived. And
Wow.
conceived totally naturally. And I conceived 1 month before my 41st birthday, and I went on to deliver at 41 and a half. And beautiful, healthy boy, no issues whatsoever. I had a natural birth. And my Magic Mama mantra framework basically takes it's a fusion of all of the holistic tools that I have picked up, that I have learned and practiced and experienced, and it puts it into a pathway, into a guide for how to get pregnant the fastest way, most efficient way to get pregnant using holistic tools, methods, and spiritual principles and practices. So that's what Magic Mama Mantra Framework is.
Well, it sounds to me like this is very needed, especially right now during COVID-19, where a lot of individuals are being impacted by the inability to have services or scared just to even try and conceive. I know individuals who've actually given birth during this time frame, and they were very scared about that whole process. So definitely your mama mantra,
Magic
Mama mantra. Magic. That's the most important word there. The Magic Mama mantra is definitely something that individuals could implement to calm the nerves, because there's so much anxiety right now around this whole conversation. I mean, there was anxiety before, but now it's turned up a whole nother level because people really don't have answers to questions. And we even heard that during the expo, there were, prominent doctors who shared that they don't have the answers because nobody knows. This is an untraveled terrain for everybody. So let's go into Magic Mama Mantra.
Sure.
What does it consist of?
Sure. And just to piggyback on what you said, I mean, that anxiety factor, that is absolutely, when you don't feel like you have that chance of being a mom is being taken away from you. I mean, it paramounts so much. And the time to prepare that you can take as a woman to prepare to conceive, it will pay off in so much. I mean, it's priceless. Whether you're going to go all natural or you're going to go the IVF route, you still need to prepare. And Magic Mama Mantra will allow you to prepare to conceive in whatever method you want to use to conceive. So what Magic Mama Mantra does is, the first thing that it does is it actually clears the way. So we actually get rid of a lot of subconscious blocks. And that's one of it can be a huge factor in unexplained infertility. So Magic Mama Mantra aligns the spiritual body, the mental body, and the physical body so that everything is one. And that's because when we have a disorder in the physical body, it first manifests in the spiritual and energetic space. So Magic Mama Mantra will take care of this for you. My pathwork goes through a whole system to make sure no matter what it is that you're dealing with, we're gonna uncover the blocks that you can't see. And that's why they're blocking you. You can't see them. If you could see them, then you would know what it was and then you would take care of it. But when you can't see something, it's very difficult to fight it. So that's one of the things that my program does, is it uncovers the subconscious blocks. And part of doing that is just becoming aware that these subconscious patterns or blocks exist in the first place. I mean, just that alone is a huge epiphany. What kind of blocks are they? How do they originate? What's the source? Is there a self-limiting belief that you're telling yourself over and over again, it's in the tape recorder of your mind that keeps playing, is that there and what is it? Because if it's happening, most likely you don't even know it's happening. And this takes some deep work, but this has to be done at the beginning of the process. And it's also about releasing old traumas. So my program uses a number of tools to remove the mental garbage that's in our brain. So our amygdala stores the past traumatic traumas and memories, old memories that have emotional charge that recreate these in the future. And so anytime that, that triggers a future event will remind you of a past event, and that's when you keep repeating these bad patterns, and that's stored in the amygdala of the brain. So what we do is we actually use mantra and other tools to bypass the conscious brain to get to the subconscious brain. And it's a really powerful method when you start to do this in the right way. And the other thing I work with very powerfully in Magic Mama Mantra is universal laws. So universal laws are the things that are true for everybody, whether you believe it or not. Doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic or no pandemic. It doesn't matter. These universal laws exist and are true no matter what. And so you might as well learn them so that you're working with the tides of life and that you're flowing up the river versus going in an uphill battle all the time. Because chances are you might be following some of these natural laws, and there's others that you might not be following completely by default. You don't know. Unknowingly, you might not be following the laws. So do you want to leave it up to random chance, or do you want to arm yourself with as much knowledge and everything on your side to be putting yourself in a place of empowerment so that you are doing and living your life according to the natural laws? And when women are on a fertility journey, they are taking they're taking the entire process of fertility very seriously. These women don't have the time for random chance. They don't want to leave it, and they can't leave it up to random chance. So the more you have on your side to grapple these invisible, unseen natural forces and natural laws, the more of an edge you're going to have, and the more you're going to get the results that you've been waiting for.
Wow. So it sounds to me also as if, in addition to the mantras, there's also a 360 approach that needs to be implemented. So is it just a case of doing the mantras, or is it a case of aligning your mind, body, and spirit with this new journey that you're about to go on in order to create the right balance for you to manifest your heart's desires?
Yeah, absolutely. And so what we do through my methodology is we're raising the vibration, we're clearing the blocks, and we are cleansing the mind. And there's a series of tools. Breathwork is definitely one of them. Mantra is another. Coaching sessions and the holistic program, everything, when you take it as a whole, you're going through a journey. So you're starting here, but you're ending up over here. And every step is important. So breathwork is a tool that we use to quiet down the mind, to cleanse the mind. And it's, and you do everything together, the breathwork, the mantra, the coaching sessions, and you're little by little unpeeling and uncovering blocks, and then also raising the vibration. I work a lot with energy. I'm an energy healer. So the bodywork practitioner, energy healer, I work a lot with energy.
Wonderful. So do you have any demonstrations for us? I'm assuming there are different methodologies to the mantras, and there's different mantras that you can
there's lots of different mantras. So many mantras. The mantras that I work with are actually based on Nam Yoga. The founder of Nam Yoga is Dr. Joseph Michael Levry. So I use a lot of his teachings in my methodology. And he fuses universal Kabbalah and yogi techniques for boosting up and revitalizing the entire body, physically, energetically, mentally, spiritually. A lot of his teachings are in my program. It's a lot of Ayurveda. which is an ancient 5,000 history holistic healthcare practice that has been used for over 5,000 years from India. And it's all about staying healthy naturally and about lifestyle patterns that you can adopt every single day to keep yourself in a healthy place. And it includes diet, meditation, exercise, a lot of the things, again, that are in my program. So I have a lot of rich background because it comes from existing practices that have helped people be healthy for thousands of years. It's not even just like 100 years. These are practices that have been used since practically the beginning of time. These are ancient practices. Also, the power of the word. I mean, there's a lot of meaning behind what we do with Nam Yoga, and the power of the word is extremely important. And that's also part of my program. So with the fertility breath work, there's so many benefits to fertility breath work. So it has all of the benefits I explained before about cleansing the mind, quieting down the mind, because we want to cut out the reactive tendencies of the mind. And that's what meditation does. And breath work is a form of meditation. It's an active form of meditation. And that's partly why the word work is in the name breath work. You are working to achieve these results, but you get so many benefits from it. And so there are 3 different types of breaths that I teach. There is a neutralizing breath, and that's what cuts down the reactive tendencies of the mind, because it creates a neutral space. So you're not going back and forth with your monkey mind and all these random thoughts that keep coming in and out. You're starting to cut out the reactive tendencies and the fear-based thoughts so that we can operate more from the cerebral cortex. So by adopting a really good breathwork practice, you stop that the back of the brain, which is where the amygdala is back there, where all those old memories are stored. You're starting to slow down the brain so that the first reactions are not the past traumatic reactions. You're starting to allow the frontal lobe, this is where your cerebral cortex of the brain exists. This is now able to operate, and you're able to make decisions more from this place rather than from the reactive place, which is back there. So breath work will do this. And so that's the first type of breath that I teach, is neutralizing breath work, because we want to create that neutral state in our mind so that we're not making decisions and doing things out of fear and reactions and negative tendencies. And then there is the stimulating breath work. That's the second breath that I teach. Stimulating breath work is going to activate the system. It's going to detoxify. It's going to cleanse the physical body. And the activating breath work that I teach will actually revitalize the reproductive organs, because you're sending fresh oxygen and nutrients and blood flow going to the reproductive system. And we do this with belly pumping. I'll demonstrate it in a few minutes. But the stimulating breath work sends oxygen to all of the cells in whatever region it is that you want to concentrate on, and it gets things moving. And if you do breath work in the way that I teach, you're preventing stagnancy from happening. And that's really important for fertility. You don't want anything to get stuck. You want to flow, and you want to detoxify, and you want things to just keep moving. It's very important for any part of life, particularly when you're trying to conceive. That's no exception. You want things to be flowing. You don't want stagnancy. So this breath work helps with that. And then with the breath work in general, you're reducing your stress level because you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system. Just a simple thing like elongating the exhale and maybe making your exhale longer than the inhale. That's a very simple way of activating your parasympathetic nervous system. And so those types of principles are included in the breath that I teach. And then if we go into more advanced types of practices with this, we get into mantras, and the mantras already include within them the breath tempo that has all of these effects. So we move from breath work exercises into mantras. You can still continue to do the breathwork exercises, but now we're adding mantra practice on top of it. And the mantra in itself has that breath regulation built into it. So it's like a double whammy. And then the third type of breath that I teach is a cooling breath. And that's something that you save for the end, typically the end of your day or the end of a breathwork practice, because it cools the body down, but it also creates that neutral space in the mind because it creates that neutrality, and it reduces tension, reduces anger, and it also is great to do to delay the onset of menopause. There's a particular breath in particular that I teach that is great for that. So I have all my, all the women who follow me, and all of the people that I work with, I have them doing these breaths. And what's really nice about this, when you do this practice and this breath work, is that they serve not just to enhance your fertility, but they boost your immune system, they rekindle your digestive fire, and they also calm down your nervous system. Like I said, they reduce the overall stress on the body. And those three things are critical for boosting your fertility, even though they are seemingly not connected systems. Everything is connected in the body. So if you have a strong immune system, if you have a strong digestive system, that's going to positively affect your fertility. And if your overall stress levels are high, that's going to reduce the ability, your ability to conceive is going to be reduced, because things aren't flowing the way they should be. Things aren't moving the way they should be. Things get stuck when you're stressed. You have extra cortisol running through your body. You start to operate from more of a fear-based mode. Your body is fearful. Your body's not going to conceive when it's fearful. It conceives yourself in a state of emergency. That's not the time to conceive, and your body knows that. So when we can reduce the overall stress level in the body on a consistent basis, now we are opening the door for greater fertility.
I'd love to see you in motion demonstrating some of these practices. So,
what I'll do first is I'll do one of the neutralizing breaths, and this is called Breath of Glow. It's one of my foundational breaths. I always teach this one, and I'm going to explain just a second before I'll demonstrate it for a minute. And this is something you can do at home for a full minute. Is great. 60 seconds is awesome. You're going to exhale forcefully through the nose, and at the same time, punch the belly in. Okay, so the air comes out of the nose and your belly comes in at the same time. Okay, and the inhale happens automatically, so you don't even have to think about it. You just focus on exhaling. And I'm going to back up so you can see me a little better. Let me move this over. Okay. The air is coming out of my nose, and the belly comes in at the same time. And you can have your hands in Gyan Mudra down by your knees, or you just place them comfortably on your lap. Either way is fine. So that's a breath that I recommend you do for 60 seconds every day, just 1 minute. And don't do it, by the way, if you're pregnant or if you have high blood pressure. So skip those breaths if you're either pregnant or have high blood pressure. And I'll give you an example of an activating breath, a stimulating breath that I do. So there's a variation of this breath that we just did, the breath of glow, that I use to stimulate the system. And so this one, you're actually going to use the same breath, but much faster. And we're going to twist from side to side. Okay. And every time I go to a side, I'm exhaling through the nose and punching the belly in at the same time. I'm going to bring my arms up to the level of my ears, and I'm going to begin. So that's an example of a stimulating breath. You would follow my videos. Please, if you're going to do this, you can chime into my Facebook group, Channel Your Inner Fertility. I show you the right way to start, the right way to end. You would inhale at the end, raise your arms up, and exhale. And there's a nice breathing rhythm that we want to do at the end to make sure that we're calming ourselves down, because that can be very activating. You might feel lightheaded. If you feel lightheaded, you can drink water, or just slow down the breath. But that's another one that you can do for 60 seconds. And then there's many more, but that's a simple one to start off with. And then the cooling breath that I think all women over the age of 35 should do. This is the one that delays the onset of menopause. You're going to inhale through a curled tongue. The inhale is through the mouth this time, and you exhale out of your nose. It's one long continuous inhale followed by one long continuous exhale through the nose. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to curl my tongue. If you can't do that, you sip in like you're sipping in through a straw. Okay, you're going to feel cool air coming in. Now here we go. So what you want to do is start to elongate that exhale too. So you're going to start to make each exhale longer than the inhale as you keep going. And that last breath is called Fertility breath. And I recommend you do that for 3 minutes a day when you're starting off. So the first one, breath of glow, 1 minute. The second one, breath of glow with the twist for another minute. And then Satali, the last breath, for 3 minutes. And that's an excellent breathwork practice, especially if you're just starting off.
So let me ask you, while you were demonstrating, I was doing my own little reenactment right here.
I can't hear you, Michelle.
Oh,
maybe it's my
I can hear you loud and clear. So I want to know, where can people find out more about you if they want to become involved with your organization and your groups?
Can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, where can people find out more about your workshops? Where can we find out more about your workshops? Okay, so let me...
Hold on, let me see something. Yeah. So sorry, Michelle, I couldn't hear you. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Perfect. Did I think your microphone had, when you moved your phone, it did something. Oh man. Okay, but you can still hear me, right? Yeah. Okay. Bye. Okay. So sorry, I don't know what's going on with my speaker, but so that's a very simple breathwork practice that you can do every single day. And if you're looking for more to do, you can follow me on my Facebook, Channel Your Inner Fertility. It is a private Facebook group. I have tons and tons of tips and protocols and things that you can do. If you're ready to get on it, I have a beginner program that you can get started. It's actually the first module in my Magic Mama Mantra program, and it's called Daily Rituals. And the reason is that it's not just what you do every once in a while. It's what you do every single day that matters. So I put together the Daily Rituals program because we needed to address how to raise our overall vibration and how to create this energetic space and purify the space so that we can begin to work on ourselves. Because one of the things that's really important to understand is that when we are working on the subconscious brain and, like with the mantra, and the mantra is a way of bypassing that conscious brain and getting into the subconscious. And when we're doing that, it's really important that, you don't just hand over your subconscious mind to anyone. You want to be very careful because your subconscious mind is very impressionable. So you want to be very careful about what you're letting in. And this is why it's extremely important to raise your entire vibratory state. You want to have a high vibratory state before we start to introduce the mantra. And so when you follow my framework in the path that I have it, it is a systematic way so that things are being done in the right way, so that you're clearing the debris before you bring in the fresh new energy. And I also have a free resource that you can take advantage of right away. If you go to my website, magicmamamantra.com, on the top right-hand corner, click on the download button, and that is a visualization, a guided visualization exercise to heal the heart chakra. And I always begin with the heart chakra because we want to clear that space and clear that vibration around the old stories and the things that have hurt us in the past. We want to create that clear space before we start to bring in fresh new energy. So I have a number of resources that you can work with, but that Heal the Heart Chakra meditation on my website, magicmamamantra.com. Go to the channel Your Inner Fertility on Facebook and sign up for Daily Rituals. That program will guide you so that you don't even have to think about it. It might sound nice. Okay, yeah, we want to raise our vibration. Sure, I can do this, or I can do that, or I can meditate. It might sound nice in theory, but to do it the right way is actually really difficult to do. And I guide you exactly through the protocols, exactly how to do it. And it's a motivation because it's not only just doing it the right way, but it's doing it the right way consistently. So you do need an accountability partner. Most of us need an accountability partner in order to keep it up and stay motivated and do things the right way. And so that Daily Rituals program and belonging to the private Facebook group will help you do that. So I hope that you got a lot of information that you can take with and run with and go and find out more. Fertility breathwork is amazing. It's not talked about enough. And it is definitely the way to start to balance your body, not just mentally or spiritually, but physically as well. It really does have an effect on your physical body. And I just think that every woman who's on the fertility path should have some kind of breath and meditation practice built into her journey.